All right, welcome back to another episode of Procrastination Podcast. We talk about anime, life, and everything in between. My name's Matt.
I'm Robert.
I'm Alonzo.
And we're back together again, for a wonderful, wonderful time. Just came off this Thanksgiving break. Good little break from work, from the normal day to day, which is nice. And obviously, coming off of a lot of good food and stuff like that. And obviously, we're here together again. So, really, really good opportunity to do this podcast in person. But before we get into all that, how was you guys' Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was good. It was good. I had so many family members to see, so I had to go door to door. Hit 3 houses in one night. Dragged Alonzo with me the whole time, and it was really fun. It was good, and I hope my family didn't embarrass me too much.
Oh, I learned a new word, firmament. I learned about perpetual energy.
Yeah.
What happened at Thanksgiving?
Yeah. My the firmament, you were there for that when you met my uncle for the first time, and he was talking about flat Earth theory. I
got whooshed out of my psyche once I heard flat Earth. So that's what it was.
But anyways, he's crazy. What he thinks is crazy. Everybody has a crazy uncle. How do you not have a crazy uncle though? I was like, you don't have crazy. You have any crazy people in your family?
Oh, what? That's another question. That's another question.
I am not abnormal here. Mine just happens to be my mother and my uncle. No. I'm just kidding. My mom's fine. She just likes
to just your mom.
Oh no, my uncle's crazy.
It's like I only renege on my mom.
Yeah.
The other one.
But and then we're talking to my grandfather about he was like, soon as he's like one of those guys that like, soon as you tell him what you are, he'll start asking you questions about it. He's like, oh, what are you? And also was like, I'm an engineer. I'm an electrical engineer, just like Robert. And he was like, oh, well, I have these thoughts. I've been dreaming about this thing. And here's this idea I have with a new car that has, that gathers energy while it's moving. And I'm like, Granddad, that's impossible. But we're here to eat food. But yeah. Anyways, that was my day. Good food though. Regardless, good food. Family was good, and conversations were good. So
yeah. That's I'm glad you let us into another part of your life, and we're very thankful for that.
Yeah.
Even if we've been scarred just a little bit, that's okay too. It's a part of life. You
should appreciate how sane I am. Now that you met my family.
I do. Thank you. Thank you for that. Now I know you can snap at any moment. Thanksgiving was good. My family had split up a little bit. So my mom, my sister, my niece and nephew went to go see my extended family in Arkansas. And so my dad stayed because he's taking a trip to Nigeria in a couple of days. So we had to get ready for that. So I couldn't because I was technically working still, so I couldn't take that trip to Arkansas. But I was like, let me not leave my dad out to dry, so I drove back home to go see my dad and spend Thanksgiving with me and him. And we had a very unconventional Thanksgiving with with our nice ribs as our main dish. No turkey, no ham, but some ribs. And honestly, probably prefer that. So I was happy with that, and then just made some nice little sweet potato souffle. And some greens out of the finest can money can buy. And, I was not cleaning on greens. So I'm glad the can was there. And I seasoned that can to perfection, if I do say so myself. And the souffle turned out great. So it was good. And the ribs were fire. My dad did his thing on them ribs, I ain't gonna lie. All them expensive things they don't use around their house. So it's good that they finally got some use out of it. So I was like, yeah, good. And it was a good time. He told me all these. My dad told me probably too many stories about himself that he had never told me before. I don't know if he was just excited or if he had drank before I got there or what. But he was telling some very explicit stories that I was like, you do not need to tell me any of this. But it was good to get to know my dad on another level, and it was cool. Like I hadn't had the one-on-one time with dad in a long time, so. was a different experience, and it was cool though.
And that's what my mom said when she met you too, right? She was like, "Oh, you have this culture that you need to get more familiarized with it, right?" She immediately like, you need to talk to your dad. You going 1-on-1 time. You need to be.
Yeah, I mean,
picking
there's
his
nothing
brain.
else to
Yeah.
do. Nothing else to do. It's like I could either be that typical millennial person and like, oh, I'm gonna be on my phone and like, or I could talk to my dad. Like, okay, I should talk to my dad. So he was on the phone with people from Nigeria majority of the day if he was talking to me, but that is also his norm. So I expected as much. But yeah, again, it was cool though. Like I said, Thanksgiving was some time to get away from the norm, which is good because I'm getting a rut. Get sick of all that. Get sick of being with the same sort of set of daily activities, daily routines, daily rules. Sometimes you just want to make your own rules. And that's what today is all about. Talking about the rules we want to put into the world. If we had the opportunity, to make such rules. So that's kind of my question today is if we could enact some rules onto today's society, what would those be? And then kind of just discuss how those will work. And I don't know. I feel like in general, there's so many things that could make our day-to-days better in the world. No, let's speak to America because we're here in America. But in the world, I think let's speak into America specifically because it's like there's things that almost anyone can think of something that can make their own day-to-day better, and majority of the day-to-day better of their friends, their family. But it's often not done because of legislation or money or whatever other number of things that can stand in the way. But I don't know. I guess we're ignoring all those plausibilities and for the sake of this argument. But it is kind of just thinking about the question. It was a little bit eye opening how much I could think of that I think would make things better. That I don't think would be that difficult to enact. I don't know.
I mean, my rules are difficult to
Okay.
I definitely made things that I felt were nearly impossible, but I these are rules that I use in my own daily life that I think would benefit if more people were to do them.
Sure.
So that's my thing. But I want to hear from Lonzo first.
You want to hear from me first?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. My rules kind of like can't be enforced either unless you have the Gios or something.
That'd be good.
Like my first rule, I wanted to go into politics because I hate politicians.
Okay,
start off.
Okay.
I strongly feel that politicians are scum of the earth.
Oh my gosh.
They say drain the swamp. I say something else. And we'll get into that. But my first rule: people in the realm of politics cannot lie.
Ooh.
Because I am sick and tired of generic politician speak that's vague and in most cases turns out to be unfulfilled promises and lies. You know this, America. They lie all the time. They have unfulfilled promises. They talk about doing stuff and it never happens, and you just left holding the bag, asking, "What did we do these past 4 years? What did we do these past 6 years? Like, why did we vote you in? Maybe we shouldn't have voted you in, but anyway, like the voice of the people should be what matters most to the politicians, and yet a lot of them are corrupt or just have stupid personal agendas.
Right.
Ron DeSantis, especially.
Fuck Ron DeSantis.
Fuck Ron DeSantis.
If there's one political view this podcast has, that's it.
So I want them to tell us how they really feel or risk the penalty of their pants literally being caught on fire and barred from anything related or tangentially related to politics. So that's why you can't really enforce this. Like, how you gonna know if somebody's lying?
That's right.
I don't know. You need some sort of special magic to
put
their pants on fire or something like that.
Special magic.
But I don't know. I just want to say the amount of liars is too damn high.
It is true. That's true.
In government. So you've heard of drain the swamp. I say we propose to say we purge the fibbers. Get rid of them. I don't want them in my country no more.
You people.
Hold on. We get together one time.
Liars.
In 5 minutes.
Where are the people?
No. I'll be late with it. Still, can't be saying that.
Oh my gosh. Can we not?
That's crazy. But I agree with it wholeheartedly. They're like, yeah, honesty is needed. Honesty is needed in general
True.
more. But in politics especially, when you're like, hey, the only reason I want you in this position is so that you make decisions that you said you were going to make.
Right. Yeah.
It's the only only reason why we vote them up, right? And more often than not, they do not. And it's like, okay, well, you're a liar. Get the fuck out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, God, I wanted to stay away from politics as much as possible, but that is such a good rule. Like, and if there was any way that we could enforce that, that would be the thing. Like, which I think you theoretically could. You could have harsher penalties for not keeping it, but that would require them to actually do their job. So I doubt that's gonna happen. But you know, I think that would be a really good change for America because I mean, obviously, then people have to actually think of the ways to go about doing these things that they're saying. You know, they have to make concerted efforts and plans to see if what I'm saying and doing actually has a method that is going to work, a method to the madness that I'm thinking about. And then they can actually go into, I mean, actual real speeches that have, the logistics behind what I'm saying and how I'm going to do it, because you have to know, you know, which would be good because as an American person, you'd like to know exactly what they're going to be doing when they get in office. And if they have a plan, then it's like, okay, well, easy. Do I identify with this plan or do I not? And then it's a very straightforward decision, you know, rather than do I actually trust this guy to lie less than the other guy, which is where I feel like I'm doing a lot of times. Where it's like, okay, which one's gonna probably lie less, and then I gotta kind of make my decision on the least crappy of the two people. And it's like it'd be nice to not have to do that part, but yeah, I think that's a really good one to start us off. Even if I was trying to avoid politics, it is a good one.
I mean, imagine in the future when they have like these like design technology that's like, all right, if you talk, they can analyze your speech cadence and know whether you're telling the truth or telling a lie like that. And there's like, well, according to our, that'd be the next like any
this Black Mirror episode or somehow.
The like debates. It'll be in a debate, and that's part of the analysis they bring up. It's like, oh, and by the way, what you just said was like a 98% chance that you're lying. So I mean, but yeah, that I don't know, dystopian future, but still like,
I mean, it would be. I don't know, it'd be helpful.
It'd be helpful. Right?
It'd be helpful. I mean,
only data I want to know about.
Honestly, though,
is he bullshit?
Right? I'm just saying, man. I don't know, like. Yeah, I think that's a really good one. That's a really good one because it kind of it answers a lot of the issues without even having to tackle them directly. It's like such a genius question, honestly. That's really good. Strong start for this. Strong start from Alonzo. We're coming out swinging for the fences.
So mine is similar, where I'm trying to get some more information out of people, and what I want to know is how someone feels about me honestly, right? Mm-hmm. So I want my rule so that everyone has to tell at if someone asks, right, how do you feel about me? It has to be honestly. You tell me how you feel about me in that moment.
Mm-hmm. So only if it's asked.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so I'm just saying, like, you don't have to go across to my, you ugly,
right?
Like, unsolicited. Yeah, I'm saying, I don't want people getting their feel they're unsolicited, existing,
right?
Like, that shirt is terrible.
I hate you. Yeah, no, but one of the things I would like to know, and this goes back to politics a little bit, where I'm trying to give it away, but like, knowing whether a politician directly hates your people, right? That's why I'm just like, sometimes I don't want to believe it, but I would love to be able to ask directly.
Yeah, I think Kanye has an answer for you.
How do you feel about
Kanye West is a good answer for
Bush does not care about black people.
That was the greatest. I mean, man, one of the greatest things I've ever watched in my life. Anyway,
but yeah, wouldn't that be like, I don't know, it's definitely not too beneficial for me, but it would be like, all right, now we know the line is drawn. This guy is directly racist. He hates black people. All right. So if you vote for him, that's what you vote for.
Right.
All right. If that's okay with you, then I know what you care about.
Right.
And
That's true.
You know, but also like even with like small relationships too, that like it would be good to know honestly how people feel about you. And I have another one that's like similar in that degree, but we'll get to that later. But like figuring out having people be more honest with each other, I think is very important. And yeah, it would be great if like people could just be like, hey, all right, this is how I feel about you in this particular moment. And you can deal with that how you want, but it's not, not supposed to be a bad thing. It's just a particular moment. So any particular like this moment, how do you guys feel about me?
Man, this
bald son of a bitch.
Oh God! Why is this recorded? Should we have recorded this?
I mean,
You know, I think you are great. You're a great friend. You know, you let us come into. Did I not sell that well enough?
Okay, good.
You're a great friend. You're a great friend. You're a great friend. You're very accomplished. You have a house. I don't have a house.
You are a genius.
You are smart. It's free. You, if it weren't for you, I would have flunked out of calculus. Say that. Flunked out this week.
Yeah, listen. I try to be a good person. I do,
and you fail a lot though.
Yeah. and yeah, I mean that goes back to one of the other episodes where we say, what would I ask God? That was one of the same things. It was like, hey, did I do it right? Did I do the life right, please? Right. But yeah. So same way as kind of want to go through life that way. Be like, am I interacting with you the right way, kind of thing too.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, y'all honest.
How do I feel about that? I feel like there's good and bad with it. Like for me personally, there's more bad than good. Like I would rather just live in blissful ignorance, like with like people like my coworkers or strangers, people I come up and talk to, like, hey, we hate you, you fat ugly son of a bitch.
Oh my God, golly.
But then there are some good parts to it, like, well, it would be useful in college for like romantic interest or stuff like that.
Fair. That's fair.
But I don't know. I think I lean towards just living in ignorance and not having people tell me how they really feel. Just lie to my face. Make me feel better about myself. Keep me going with your fake compliments.
I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's, I'm very in the middle about it. Because, like, I think it's, I don't know. It kind of takes the, I don't know. It takes the, I don't want to say the fun out of the relationship part, but it almost takes like the risk part of it out.
That's true.
So then it's like, okay, like, are you really building trust? Are you really are you gonna wait to the right time to ask this question? And they're like, okay, because I feel like the
out with it,
right? Like that can change. That changes throughout relationships with people. You know, the way they feel about a person, like, and those can intensify or lessen, you know, throughout a relationship. And even there's people I did not like initially that I ended up liking more as friends and stuff like that in the future. And there's people that I liked initially that I don't like at all now. So it's like, you know, that stuff changes. So it's like, I don't know, it's a dangerous precedence because you catch someone the wrong time, then it's like, oh, well, now that you think this is their permanent thought on you, and it's just a temporary thought based on that was something that may be a misunderstanding or just like one thing that made them upset, you know? And yeah, like it's just a recipe for disaster at times because it could be abused. But if you use it the right way, like you said, you know, it could be good because you can it would bring some people together because especially people that are shy, kind of like, you know, can't get their words out, you know, and it's like everyone else knows. And you're like, okay, you know, then you just have to get one person to ask them while the person's around. And it's like, okay, then it's like, it's answered and it's done. And there goes a beautiful my love story relationship, you know, and that's great, you know, but yeah, I don't know, always black and white, you know, good and bad with all these sorts of things. So, but yeah, I think it'd be interesting to enact for sure, at least. I mean, at the very least, it'd be very hard to lead people on unless they wanted to be. But mine is very different from both of those. and not political at all, really. My first one is that I would have mandated nap times for adults, man. We need naps.
You know, that deserves a round of applause. Let me get to it.
We need naps in this country. Maybe this is political. Naps. Make America nap again. We need naps back in this country, man. Like, why do kids almost get naps? We're more tired than kids. We are way more tired than them kids, man. We need naps as adults. Like, I'm not saying we should have to take a nap, but we should have the option to take a nap, and it should not be able to be taken away from us. Like, I don't know what time exactly during the day, but sometime during the day, during a work day, we should get mandatory allotment of nap time. Like, and a solid nap, like, 30 minutes to an hour, of solid nap time should be mandated throughout the day and should be protected by the U.S. government to not let any company take that away from you. That's your protected time, So I'm like, that would be so clutch. Like, because I so much of the day, I'm like, bro, if I had 15 minutes, I could go ham the last half of the day in this work. I'll be running on full steam ahead. I'd be good. But you just don't have that freedom to do that. And then you're just like struggling through. Whereas you could be way more efficient. You'd be happier. Everyone would be happier. You can get that nice lunch and then okay, if I need after lunch nap, you just for a little bit. And then, I just feel like the efficiency would be better, people be happier, everybody be less, it'd be less arduous work week, knowing you have that built in. I don't know. But then, and okay, just a caveat, I would say, protect the lunchtime as well, so they don't try and be like, oh, your lunch, and when our jobs trying to play you, I'm gonna combine your lunch and nap time. No. Lunch and nap separate, thank you, But yeah.
Either take a lunch or take a nap.
Right. Work will do that ish. They will do that. But yeah, that'll be mine.
That's a good one. I mean, I think we're similar. You and I, we don't drink a lot of coffee.
No.
So I think we feel similar in the middle of the day where it's just like, all right, well, I reached my limit. I'm done. And yeah, and I agree. A good nap is, and sometimes I do that instead of taking a lunch, just like you said. I'm like,
facts.
I'm gonna be in my car and out. A good nap, and then get back into it, and then you feel refreshed, and you eat. Best work I've ever done.
Right,
right after nap. but yeah, I isn't Let me say something about like Spain or something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in Europe does that. Right. Like that's where I got the idea, and I was like, we should do that here.
That's a good one though.
Yeah, nice siesta sounds really good.
yes.
When I'm in the office at work and nobody else is in, I do take the time, close my door, turn off the lights, rest my head, close my eyes. It's blissful.
Oh god!
But that's a great idea.
Song.
Turn off the lights.
We gotta clip that.
That is a great idea. I certainly feel recharged afterwards. Right. Productivity is going to skyrocket.
I mean, I'm saying it would really. I promise it would help. I promise it would help. Like, people will be happier. They'll get more work done. They get better work done. Quality of work will be better. Less mistakes. Like, I don't know. I think it'd work. I mean, again, if other countries are already doing it and it seems to be working for them, I don't know. I don't know why it wouldn't work for us.
Especially after you have a big lunch, you get the itis.
I'm saying. I'm telling you.
You're not doing any more work after that.
Right. Yeah. Right. So there's times at the job where they do like fried chicken, soul food days or something at work. I'm telling you, everybody in that hospital is gone. They gone after that, man. Ain't no way this nurse just ate 3 pieces of fried chicken, mac and cheese, and collars that she gonna be up and at them for the next 3-4 hours. Get out of here, man. She gone in her cubicle. She gonna be. Patient alarm gonna be bleeding. She gonna be gone, man.
100%. Yeah, my job, they do this one thing that's like there's an engagement day where they sit us in our group together and they're trying to figure out what task can we complete to be more engaged in the office. But they do that with biscuits and donuts. And after that in the morning, I'm just like, all right, well, you done this to yourself. Okay, I'm in the cubicle just like that, just like you said. I'm like, all right, yeah. Until I go take a car nap.
And you know, speaking of the nap, we got to build in some nap spaces too. Nap spaces.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be sleeping in my car either. I need my designated nap space unless it's going to be enough time to get home and come back.
Right.
Which is miserable. I don't want to come back after I go home. I'm not going to do that. Oh, I'm sick now. Come back. Nap is too good. Nap turned into full night's rest.
Sorry, car accident, and, traffic, and
my neck is off. It's gone.
My neck is off.
It's gone. Oh my gosh. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, but I don't know. Is your next one still political?
It is still a little political.
Back to the politics, America.
Back to the politics. This is what America's all about.
That is true, though.
My American given right to talk shit about the government.
So
true. My next rule: large corporations and banks cannot be bailed out.
Very political. That's a good point, though. Go ahead.
So if you fail, you fail is what I like to live by, because in most cases there is no recourse for the average person to quickly bounce back on their feet after failing.
That's true.
Like, you lose your job, lose your car, lose your house, everything snowballs. You're not getting back on your feet that quick, and nobody's going to give you a handout. Say, "Oh man, you're going through tough times. Here's $5,000. Get your life back on track. Do all that." No. That's not going to happen for the common man. So it shouldn't happen for corporations and banks. Like, I feel the same thing should apply to them. Like, they have all the money in the world that goes to save them, and it's never seen by the average citizen. And then they just do asshole butt fuckery by jacking up prices for no reason and applying crazy amounts of fees to everything.
That's true.
And I could care less about the stock market. I cashed out on my GameStop stock and my cryptocurrency.
Well done.
Made a tiny profit. But I see statistics on unemployment and the size of the economy and job creation. But I think the major amounts of money that go to corporations and banks could have just been sent to the American people with government limits on price gouging.
That's true.
I mean, why do I feel like the end of this, Alonzo goes, and I am running for president in 2020?
I mean, I'm not in economics, politics, or empathy. I say go down with a burning and sinking ship to save the women and children.
Yes.
In short, Wall Street can go jump in a ditch.
Okay.
Alonzo 2028.
Wow.
I'm not clipping that.
I mean, wow. I mean, yeah. For some reason, I don't know why, but like, there's people who believe the opposite, right? They're just like, I mean, these people made all this money and they put all this work and effort and they should be,
Okay.
I don't know. It's like, I've never been like, I've never cared about these millionaires or billionaires, I'm just like, okay, dang, you get bankrupt, dude? Good, honestly.
Good.
I was like, you don't have that money, and that was a problem.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know, but I had some, like, I told you about some of my crazy political ideals where I'm like I think there should be a profit margin where eventually you can't make any more profit. I'm sorry, you don't need any more money, and if you do, that money gets back to us. Sometimes, like, it's like, after $1 billion, you don't need any more money. I'm sorry. It's like, why?
You're gonna get labeled a socialist.
Please. But yeah, and yeah, I feel the same way about this. It's just like, yeah, I mean, I agree, especially for those big things and like banks and stuff. Yeah, I've heard that so many times. Just like, I mean, where do we keep the millionaires' money if this bank isn't up? So let's give them more money so they stay up, so the millionaires keep their money in that bank. I'm like, Like, this is a bank that's in Los Angeles, you know? Like, like, who the hell cares? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I hate politics. I mean, I don't know what
Politics and economics, the two worst things.
I mean, by far. But I mean, I can't argue with anything you said. Like, why helping people that don't need the help, and then ignoring the people that do need the help is always going to be frustrating. So
worse America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
That is. Yeah. There's nothing else to say about it. That's the worst thing about the America that we live in right now, is that there's so many people that really need the help and they don't get the help, or they get this, or they have this illusion thrown to the masses of them getting help through other means and methods. And I mean, it even annoys me. This is getting off topic, but it annoys me sometimes. Like, oh, these companies are doing like, oh, we're donating 10 cents for every dollar you spend at whatever restaurant. I'm like, you're a multi-million-dollar restaurant. Why do you need my money to donate? Go donate yourself if you want to donate. Like what? If I want to donate, I'll donate my full $10. I won't donate 10 cents of my dollar to you. Like that. I don't know. That junk is, again, kind of a similar thing where it's like, again, these big businesses always think like, if you want to use your money to do good, you have more than enough money to do that. If they truly want to do that, but they would rather give the illusion to us that they're doing good with the money that we give them and the money that they get, than to actually just do it and do it for the sake of doing something good, which is, again, very frustrating for people like us who actually would like to see people getting the help they need, and people actually receiving this sort of assistance in the times that they really need it, and the people that can't get on their feet really nowhere near as easily as other people without this help. And like you said, man, if this was like the common man getting this when they're truly in their worst of states, that's one thing. But it's these people that are like, okay, this business crashes. Okay, I have 7 more businesses that I could still make money through, and 8 more banks that I'm still managing. And it's like they don't care that much about this. And you give them even less reason to care, because if they do fail, there's not a repercussion. Whereas the common man, there is going to be heavy repercussions for failing just about anything. So it is very frustrating. Yeah. But yeah. Look how serious this got.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Back to Don Lemon.
We'll get off of that then. So my next one, again, trying to figure out how people like how people treat other people. I want there to be a time limit when you have to make a major action. So, like, every time you're going to make a decision, a major decision, and it's hard to put that in context, but you get what I'm saying. You're going to make a
life-altering decision.
Right.
Okay.
You have to take 30 seconds, even, minute, even. But you have to wait before you make that decision. You cannot just do a thing, right? A lot of problems I think I have with like how I see people get into these situations where they make a rash decision and it fucks up their life, and it's because of that instinct. I have to do the thing. I can't think about it. I have to do it, right? And I'm like, if I were just to say, okay, before you do it though, you have to take 1 minute and just process it. Process what this event is about to do to you, and then you can make whatever decision you want, but you have to process it first. I think that would stop some amount of people who are smart people but make dumb decisions.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, it won't stop the dumb people from making dumb decisions, but it will stop the smart people from making dumb decisions. Which I think a lot of times I get in modes where I'm like, okay, well, I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna. I need to do this thing, and I'll just make a rash decision like, oh, I need to buy this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, oh, I need like all these musical devices I have in this freaking room, right? Like, I need a new cello, I need a new guitar, I need a new this, right? Did I need them? No. And did I process it before I hit that button? No. And that's the problem I have with major purchases, right? But like, and I know that's really minor, but I think it goes into what like
goes into bigger stuff.
Yeah, like how that's I true. React to some of my even major decisions I have in life. Where I'm just like, I mean, even to the degree of like you remember when we were on the convention and you were like, why don't you go talk to these people? And I go, well, because of this, because of this, because of this, because that's my normal reaction. Is I'm like, I can't. I just my body can't. But if I really took the time and was like, all right, well, before I say no immediately, I have to go, all right, well, let me think about what I what I could have done, what I could have said, right, and then like or what what would come of that event, and then do it. You know what I mean? Like, would my decision be different? Possibly, and that's why I'm like, processing time. Everyone has to process. You're like a computer. Everyone now has to take some time to process.
That will be a very tough one to enforce. But okay.
Oh, I fall into the class of dumb people making dumb decisions, no matter what. But like you were just saying, like I've also made impulsive, rash decisions, purchases, stuff of that nature. Like I just it pops into my head, and I just want to do it. Like I'm an indecisive person, but for some things, I just be like, let me just do it, get it out of the way. Don't think about it at all. Just get it done. And that's probably not healthy thinking. Like taking the time to think about it over, sleeping on it, I guess. Something that will help you guide you to the correct decision.
Yeah.
That's probably something that a lot of people should do more.
Yeah.
Patience. That's the one thing I love. I do not like impatient people.
Yeah.
You know, I have some impatient tendencies sometimes.
Yeah, that's. I am not good at patience, and I haven't been good at patience for a long time. So I had to really work on myself personally. So I definitely agree with that. Because I think for me and myself, like taking the time to think about things, even just thinking about like, okay, second, why am I actually upset about this? Is this something I should be this upset about? Like, okay, not really, And then I'm like, oh, okay, and taking that second to like evaluate your feelings or evaluate your thoughts on things before you fully commit to an emotion or an action, I think it would be great to be able to enforce that in people, because I think it would stop a lot of, like you said, these really rash decisions where they're like, where they're, decisions based on emotion or decisions based on, finance or the decisions based on just like, quick, quick gratification and things like that. Because I think a lot of it comes from, you're in a certain emotional state at a period and you're thinking only from that emotional state, and then you're reacting from that same place. Whereas if you could stop and react from your normal state of being of like a calm state, you wouldn't make that decision. Like, oh, I wouldn't have cursed out my boss that day if I had been in my okay state, or I wouldn't have, bought that car if I was in my normal state. I wasn't just feeling sad because of my girlfriend breaking up with me or something, And I think that sort of thing would be, but even in, like you said, minor situations, like, oh, if you're trying to approach someone and you're like, okay, why am I approaching this person? Am I actually interested in like what they're doing? Am I just after them because they're really cute or whatever, And then even for the person evaluating you in the reaction, it's like, okay, am I going to reject this person because, because of I legitimately don't think they're interesting, or am I just being shallow right now? Or am I, or are they legitimately not someone I could ever see a future with, And that I think would be a good thing for a lot of people to do in a lot of different areas. Because like I said, just getting a little bit of time to think from a rational place, because almost all that stuff is because you're put in a certain emotional state. Because even in state where you're getting approached, like that's a different emotional state, I would assume. Obviously, I can't speak from like a girl's position, but like I would assume like a stranger comes up to you and talks to you. That's probably a different emotional state than your normal day to day, right? So it probably puts you in a little bit of a weird place where you're probably, at least for most people, probably at least a little bit defensive off the rip, So I think that would be good, and it would help people to make better decisions. And maybe again, even from people that are that same thing. She's like, oh, this is all my type. But then maybe she paid more attention to the red flags, or he paid more attention to the red flags from that girl. If they were like, okay, I took the 10 seconds, and okay, that is actually a red flag right there. That's also a red flag right there. Why did I not recognize that initially? So I think it would be good. Very, very difficult to enforce, but would be a good rule.
I think also in this age of like clickbait
Oh yeah,
of TikTok and all these things that are trying to make you feel something instantly.
yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, we put this thing online, but we cut the part where they tell you that this is a fake thing.
right.
You're like, no, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna show that this really racist thing happened on a plane. And
Mm-hmm.
you're like, hey, how do you feel about that? It's like you should be angry, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you're like, well, this was completely fake and fabricated.
Yeah,
But it's like, oh well, it would be great if I could, process this before. All right, well now let me share on Twitter and
right.
go in my rants about how I feel about the world. Right? It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be great if you had to like, oh, really process. Oh, okay, well, am I just being an asshole just to be an asshole? Right? Am I just joining this bandwagon for no reason? I mean, the same way you were talking too about like the Me Too movement a little bit, where it's there's some it may be a minor small group of them, but there's some of them that take this advantage of that situation and
right.
want you to immediately cancel somebody just
Without any
without anything. They're
without
just
any
like,
proof or
hey,
anything.
I don't
Yeah,
like this guy. This guy. I've never liked this guy. You should not like this guy.
right.
It's like, well, what? It's
Yeah,
like,
no, that's facts.
for that reason,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, and a lot of people without hesitation they go,
right.
"Hey, it's me too. I'm going."
And then they have to go back on their
Right,
way. And, oh, well, I didn't know that this was the actual facts. Well, did you
right,
look for the facts?
yeah,
Did you think about the
right,
facts? And yeah, this is a prime
right,
example. I was just on social media a little bit before, like sometime I think it was yesterday night or something, and someone had reposted something about an artist saying, "Oh, this guy has been stolen like all the lyrics of this person's song." Someone had made a post about this,
mm,
and it was like verbatim the same lyrics of a song from like Kurt Franklin.
mm,
And I think it was the guy was Rod Wave. Somebody was saying Rod Wave stole Kurt Franklin's song exactly, like exact
mm,
lyrics. I know things like the Rain Down on Me song was just fire.
mm,
But they're like, oh, he sold it. And it was like a screenshot of the post, and she reposted it, and she was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is crazy. Y'all
mm,
can't stop defending this guy. And then people were like, immediately under that post, oh, you realize this is fake, right? Go
mm.
look at the lyrics of his song that they quoted is not having these lyrics in it. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that. she's like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. My bad. Like, and then like you look so dumb because you don't fact check anything. That you just and then you have to go back and then you have to, like you lost credibility with whatever friend group whatever because now people are like, okay, this person's posting this now I gotta fact check her whatever. But even without that, it makes you just like it just makes you look silly in general, and it also just makes you I feel like a worse person when you just take everything at face value and you don't look in depth at the things people say and do, especially when it's assassinating someone else's character, even if it's someone you don't know personally. Fine, I understand she doesn't know Rod Wave personally.
Right.
Obviously, don't know Rod Wave or Kurt Franklin personally.
Mm-hmm.
But it's assassinating somebody's character. If you're gonna do that, at least do the research, do the due diligence of a 10-minute Google search. Not even a 10-minute search. The search lyrics of that song takes 2 minutes, maybe. And do that due diligence before you go and do assassinate someone's character, even if you don't know them, because you wouldn't want someone to do that to you. You're not famous, I get it, but you wouldn't want someone to do that to you and just put something on your name and just be okay, this is a fact about you based on a screenshot that's made up, and then a 2-minute search could have debunked that, and you didn't even bother because you wanted to be upset. She already didn't like him, so it's like, oh, I have a reason to double down on not liking this guy, and I'm like. This is exactly what you're talking about. People wanting everyone else to not like. Oh yeah. Now you see this what I'm talking about. You take your writing music. This is why this guy's trash. And I'm like, again, like you said, it's kind of sad. It just makes it really bad. Herd mentality, mob mentality. Right? Just people just want everyone else to just be like get their pitchforks with them as soon as it's whatever minor thing. A lot of times, and honestly, a lot of times it doesn't. The punishment doesn't warrant the mistake, or even if it is a mistake, because a lot of times it's not even a real mistake. But yeah, would be good. Again, hard to enforce, but I wish we could have people to take a step back and try and evaluate these things. So maybe they'll have a little bit more thought their actions. Be good. But mine is a lot less thoughtful than that again. We thought way harder than this. My next rule is that we should get everyone's work week should include only Monday through Thursday. Friday should be a full day off. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday completely should make up the weekend. Only Monday through Thursday for everyone.
So, but you're not changing the work hours.
Yep, work hours the same.
Still 8-hour days.
8-hour days.
Okay.
4 days. Friday through Saturday is now the full weekend. Full weekend, a full day of Friday now. Not, so starts Thursday evening. So now Thursday is real gonna be real different. But I was like, man, that would be so clutch. Because I mean, I always felt like, shouldn't it be more evenly split, the weekend and the work day? You know, I'm like, the weekend and work week are not evenly split. And I know obviously 7 is an odd number, we know, obviously. But it could be closer than 2.5. You know, it's like, and everyone knows Sunday evening you can't fully enjoy because you got to go to work the next day. No one enjoys Sunday evening like that. Like, so it's like, at least you'd have full Friday, you know, full Saturday. I was like, okay, I'm got 2 full days every week that I'm like, I'm gonna for sure be able to get stuff done, do my errands, whatever else. If I want to choose one full day as an errand day, 1 full day as a chill day, you can now do that instead of having to like split. You know,
right.
I think that's good. And then because everyone's tired Friday after work, no one wants to like go and do something super, strenuous. So it's like, I just feel like, again, productivity. I'm just saying, we'll probably shoot through the roof again because again, we got 40 work weeks, probably more rested, more energized. You have more to look forward to on the weekends. You have better attitudes during the week. Just saying. I think everything would be a little bit nicer. It's a little bit nicer if we just had these elongated weekends. And again, you know, it's not like every company has closed. You know, because obviously still places open on the weekends too. But it's just like, you know, you get weekend pay. So that also raises morale. Again, might be a little bit more money for the companies, but morale. I mean, look how many companies are working shorthanded. Like after COVID and like there was like the initial like really loss of jobs. There's like 1 million job, you know, need help signs in every window it seems like for these jobs now. And I think again now that people are back on their feet, back in their jobs and stuff like that, these kind of common jobs are kind of suffering again. And again, you know, if you have nice conditions, then maybe like that random person that's like, okay, I got some free time on the weekend and this is a chill job because now everyone's not so uptight and not so crazy, not so annoyed, you know, then yeah, I'll pick up this extra job because I know it's not going to be super hectic environment to jump into. So it's like, I'd like it to just be an easier, nicer time for everyone. And that's what I would like America to be. A better time for everyone, you know? That's all I want, people.
That's a good political stance, you know. 4-day work week.
I'm his vice.
Yeah.
Vice president, you know. We go. Ron DeSantis.
You know,
maps for everyone.
Fuck Ron DeSantis. 4-day work week. Oh, that's funny. I have been working 4-day work weeks. I told you about that, right? That and when we were setting it up, he was like, you can choose whatever day you want of the week to take off. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm working from home on Mondays. So I was like, you know what? Monday is, I mean, it's not a day off, but it's a more relaxed day than being at work fully stressed, right? So then I was like, so I wanted Friday. So then I can make that like you said, a 3-day weekend, right? And he was like, no. He's like, you can pick every day except for that day because 2 people already picked that day. And he has a group and he doesn't want all of his people in his group to be off at the same time. And I was like, okay, fine. How about then Thursday? Not that day. How about Monday then? Fuck my work from home day. I'll do Monday, not that day. I had to pick Tuesday. Tuesday, my day off. So then I work from home work from home on Monday, off Tuesday, and then does exactly what you said. It is my day to be a little bit productive at home, and I get my stuff done. I go my grocery shopping, I clean my house, all that shit. But yeah, I mean, it would be great if it was consecutive days of rest.
It would be.
And not just like this random day in the middle of the week where, hey, you can stay up late Monday night, but then you better be ready Tuesday. Right. Yeah. So yeah. I think 4-day work weeks work. I think, like you said, having a bit of structure there would also help.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but it's also we're working 10-hour shifts, and that's the other thing.
Yeah,
and that's a bit worse than
that. I can imagine.
Although,
I know.
I'm an office worker, so I don't really do anything different from when I'm home and when I'm at work. Like I am at work 8 hours sitting at a computer, and I come home 8 hours sitting at a computer. But yeah, I mean, now it's 10 hours, and that took my hours, a couple hours, and that was the other thing that I really don't like is now it's unbalanced on the day. On every day it's unbalanced. I'm working more on a work day. I'm working more than I'm not working, and I think that's kind of weird, right?
Well, I know all about that.
Yeah. There's probably plenty of people, right, working crazy shifts, but yeah,
I'm with y'all. The
12-hour shifts hurt. Not a fan at all.
10 and 12-hour shifts hurt your soul, man. I know the feeling. Oof. Anyway.
I remember when I worked in San Diego, we had a 980 schedule. So Monday through Thursday, every week you work 9 hours. One Friday you had to work 8 hours. The other Friday you had off. It's called an RDO, regular day off Friday. And those RDO weeks were fantastic. 3-day weekends were great. Like I always look forward to those weeks. I think I got more done during those weeks because I knew I had a 3-day weekend coming up.
Right.
So I get where you're coming from, Vice President Matt. But yeah, that's a good rule. I would definitely enjoy that. Not sure how it's. Well, yeah. The companies could put that in force.
I mean,
that's not hard to enforce at all.
They could. They really could.
It's an easy rule.
I'm just saying.
Get it done, America. Corporate America.
Get it done. Like you said, it really encouraged you to want to get the work done before you go. Because you're like, I don't want to take anything home. I don't want to take anything home after 3-day weekend. Like, and when I have a weekend coming up that is like that, like, I am way more motivated to like get my work done before. And I'm like, then you have that every week from people. That motivation every week, And maybe that tapers off a little bit because it becomes less of a new thing. But I think you still have that motivation most weeks for people to go, okay, I want to get this done so I can fully enjoy this nice weekend that I got. Because like you said, otherwise then you got the unbalance of the time off. And now you don't have the full, day of semi-productivity and day of actual full rest. You don't have that anymore. And then it's like, you don't want that. So you want to make sure that you're doing what you got to do at work. Whereas you go home on these regular weekends, you're like, well, it's going to be effed anyway, so whatever. Like, but I don't know. I think it was good. So yeah. But anyway, incorporated. Do it. Just put it in. Right. We need another day off. Thank you. I guess we have time for one more. Yeah, why not?
Sure. So my last rule is something a little selfish to me, but I think it could also save some lives. Like, for the love of God, no one should be able to tailgate another car when going at or above the speed limit. Like, in the state of Maryland, the amount of drivers that tailgate another car, in other words, closely following the car in front by less than 3 feet, is an epidemic. And in the grand scheme of things, I haven't lived that many places, but I think there are facts that will back me up in saying that Maryland drivers are some of the worst drivers in the country. I've driven in LA. I've driven to downtown Norfolk, the tunnel. Maryland drivers are worse than any of those combined. I think they are just some of the strangest creatures on the
planet. You people.
Why do you insist on giving it?
Anyway, the bane of my existence is drivers who tailgate. Not only is it dangerous, but if there's an unexpected hazard causing braking by the driver in front, it's just plain stupid. You gain nothing at all by tailgating.
Right.
And I propose when you're going at least The speed near the car nearest behind you needs to be at least 10 yards away.
10 yards?
10 yards.
God
Going the
dang.
speed limit near there, you need to be at least 10 yards away from the car in front of you. So to allow for adequate reaction time. And if you don't, then your car should spontaneously explode.
Oh my God.
So it's going to be like the movie Speed. If you're going near the speed limit, then your ass best be at least 10 yards away, or you will explode. Set off the proximity bombs. I don't know. That's all I got.
Gosh.
Because he can't run for president anymore.
Proximity bombs for every car.
Oh my gosh. Okay, man. Well, the DMV will be an even worse place, wouldn't it?
I mean, I agree with the driving issue. Right? I think that
Not the bomb part.
I mean, the bomb part, I would go about it a different way. But like he said, there's so many times where I'm driving the speed limit. No, there's so many times where I'm driving 9 miles over the speed limit because I know that the cops set it to 10 miles and I ain't getting caught. But and yeah, and then there's people behind you that's like, hey, get out of this lane. I'm like, what do you mean get out this lane? I'm driving, I'm speeding. I am speeding actively.
Right.
It's like, oh, but you're not speeding enough. I'm like, well, then it's your job to go around me. It's not my job to get out of your way.
Right.
Like, if you want to go 20 miles, over the speed limit, then it's you have to drive around traffic. People don't.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it's so unsafe.
It's super unsafe.
And yeah, you can't really do much about it.
Right. No, you can't. I mean, you can be a douche and like slam on your brakes and stuff. I know some people. I drove with someone someone tailgated them. They would just slam on their brakes repetitively.
Yeah.
And like, just like, I was like, dude, you might get a shot.
Yeah.
I was like, stop doing that. For one, they would either hit you and then hit and run, or they would just be complete nutcases one day. And I'm like, either one of those is not ideal. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Norfolk drivers are you got to give Maryland drivers a run for their money. They're terrible, dude. The amount of, I mean, there's a Norfolk. It's like I forget what the page is called. It's like a Norfolk something page. And like it shows all the crazy shit goes on in Norfolk, and the majority of it is just drivers doing crazy ish in the middle of the road. Like I don't know what I saw one day. I don't know if you stole a car or what, but I saw a dude just like make a U-turn in active traffic over like double lines, like in front of a bowling alley or whatever. And I was like, like he just did like a movie U-turn, dude. Like you see the tires scream and you see the smoke flaring in the air and everything. And he just cooks it after that, man. He just slams on his accelerator and just takes off the other direction. I'm just like, what the actual freak? Like in active traffic, in the middle of traffic. And it's like, that's what happened. And then we saw a car caught on fire here, didn't we? This is Virginia.
Yeah, that's true.
Still Virginia. Full flames, just there. I was like, I've never seen any other place with a car by itself, by itself, And then I saw a video also recently this week of a dude who just it's just a random turn. I think, where is it? I think it's near, was it near Monticello, I think? It's like a random turn. It's like a regular turn. And he just turns all the way into a light pole. Like, it's a regular turn. Like, there's nothing difficult about it. And they just turned and again, not to mention my own car accident and other cars I've seen around here where people are just like chilling and just get destroyed. Like, I don't know, man. This place is dry. I don't know. Maybe Maryland. I haven't driven to Maryland enough to make a full judgment, but Norfolk definitely is going to give them a run for money for the worst drivers. It is truly terrible in Virginia. Truly terrible drivers all through Virginia. But I digress. Very good rule, except for the explosions. Enough explosions are happening, I think. But yeah, I mean, there's so many people that tailgate, and it's like you said, you're going well above. I mean, dude, it's crazy. Like, people be going gotta be over 100. Gotta be over 100. Like, I don't know. I feel like when my car going over a certain speed, it starts shaking, and I'm not comfortable with that. But apparently, some people are. I don't know. Maybe your car is better than mine, but I would not be running that speed. But live your movie. That's what you want.
Right. Yeah. Right. My other one, my last one, easy, simple one, like you.
Simple.
You get jailed if you cheat. All right. Period.
Dang.
Yeah. Get. I don't know. It could be something. I don't know how long. It would be a good amount of time to be in jail.
Sure, rule. I don't know.
All right. You could be in jail 10 days.
Like cheat, like relationship cheat.
Relationship cheat. You're in jail for 10 days.
Like even if it's not marriage, but just like
Any
relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As long as it's not a
You
situation.
and your 8th grade girlfriend getting in.
Dang.
Get in
Little
there.
Tommy?
Little
Just
Tommy
get
in
there.
juvie. What you do? I cheated on Jessica.
Cassie wasn't even a good kid.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think that
It's crazy.
in terms of a punishment, there needs to be a punishment. I am being like hyperbolic a little bit, but I think that like it deserves some amount of public shaming.
A scarlet age.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so easy. It feels so easy for me to control myself that I'm just like, how is this like a problem? Just don't.
I mean, they just don't care.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like
Good.
most
Yeah.
of them just don't care.
You don't care about. Yeah, you deserve to be shamed if you don't care about other people.
And
yeah.
I mean, like Matt says, black men don't cheat. So
Yeah.
We good. Black men don't cheat, so we good. I mean, now the rest of y'all don't know what you're gonna do, but we good.
Right.
We get jail for everything else. We didn't get jail for this. Like, you gonna catch us on this one.
That's what I want to see. I want to see cops just running. There he is.
Cheaters gonna be a whole different kind of show. That show gonna be different.
Cheaters with cops. Yeah.
Ducking, dodging.
Real show me what.
That's a crazy show. Cheaters, cops, fusion would be insane. It'd be insane. What the freak? Oh my gosh. Bad boys. But yeah, that's intense, right?
Right? Are all like types of cheating equal? Like hand holding, kissing, practicing the Kama Sutra, like what
Kama Sutra.
They're all 10 days in jail.
I don't know. I had this conversation before, and I feel like your relationship and what counts, what constitutes, right? They're like, and that's what I would say you would go by. Like, yeah, I mean, hand holding is that something that you do regularly in this particular relationship, and is what that's only for that relationship, then yeah, hand holding is cheating, and yeah, you get your ass in jail.
10 days, man.
10 days.
Dang, like Chance the Rapper got him a 10 day. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. I think I mean, again, I don't like the cheating. I feel like if you're at that point, just leave the relationship.
Agreed.
At that point, but I do think that some people have extenuating circumstances.
It's just extenuating circumstances.
Well, I say that because it's like, maybe they're in.
I have to cheat.
Well, no, not they have to cheat, but I'm like, for example, there's some cultures where like breaking up with your husband is not a thing, or breaking up with your wife is not a thing, right? So people will step out, but they both are knowingly stepping out on each other because they can't get divorced, but they're both knowingly stepping out on each other.
I mean,
see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like
that's harder to
okay
to fully.
That would necessarily be under that same spectrum,
right?
Okay.
Really, like if you tell them, hey,
well, a lot of times it's not they tell each other, but you just know, like it's obvious, right? Like I mean, how? Okay, I don't know. I don't want to like.
I'm saying if you're doing it and you know that your partner's going to be upset about it, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That is cheating. That's bad. Don't do that.
Yeah.
10 days.
10 days. 10 days. I mean, yeah, I get it.
In maximum security custody.
So God,
in the hole. 10 days in the hole.
Okay, stop. Just stop. Just stop.
Who are you, Robert? I've never been cheated on. Who are you? road.
Prophylactically trying to make sure he doesn't get cheated on by throwing him in jail. Yeah, that's a lot. I don't know, that's a lot. I feel like there's just too many. There's a lot of reasons to not cheat, and most times, like you said, self-control thing more than anything, and not putting yourself in those certain situations, especially as a guy. Like a guy is not an idiot. We know well enough what situations could lead to more and what can't. And like now, if someone just jumps on you, and kisses your face, I don't know how that would happen, but maybe it happens. That's whatever. You're unlucky, and swatter off like a fly. I hope you don't get 10 days. But I mean, I don't know how that would happen, but I feel like for the most part, keep yourself out of the situations, yeah, and hopefully your partner will do the same thing. Because I mean, I feel like also for girls, it's dangerous for it's dangerous for girls and guys because like assault reasons too. Like you don't want to put yourself in a situation with people that you aren't sure about, So it's like, but again, yeah, 10 days is a bit harsh, but I do think that people don't cheat. It's not that serious. Just go another. Especially if you're young. Like how many people do you run across? Go date someone else. If that's really what you want to do. Like just move on. But yeah, speaking of moving on, I'll move on to my final one. It's very short, and this one's probably a little bit harder and probably rough for the most feathers. We're gonna lose me some votes. I think I think that there should be a social media limit. The social media limit in place for a certain amount of time where each person can be on social media per day. Total social media. It's not just one platform. Like your total, like say maybe 2 hours of total time you can be on social media per person day. Doesn't have to be, can be consecutive, cannot be whatever. It can be like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. It can only be 2 hours total or something like that a day. I think that would force people to, for one, live more in reality. I feel like social media distorts reality so much for so many people because of how much they live their lives looking through that lens. For two, it would hopefully cut back on some of this catfishing and some of this this OnlyFans and stuff like that. I would hope a little bit, and that's really your hustle. That's all you got going for you. I guess do what you got to do, but I ain't trying to see all that. But I think that just in general, we talk about how social media makes people unhappy. Like in general, that's kind of been like the consensus. A lot of people's in this up and coming generation are more unhappy, and a lot of it's related back to people comparing themselves to people on things they see on social media. So it's like if you're limiting that time, I feel like you're spending time doing things that make you happier outside of that, and filling time with more meaningful hobbies, hopefully more meaningful relationships, and hopefully with your family if that is a positive thing for you, or maybe with your friends or someone else, or even with yourself trying to get to know yourself a little bit better. Things that are more beneficial to yourself and personal growth than staring at someone else doing jumping jacks in their tightest shirt. That is just like you don't need to spend more than 2 hours a day looking at that. Like I don't see the benefit in that. But I can see people be upset about it because like my rights, my freedoms. But I'm like, I do think it would give you the opportunity to do more things, more worthwhile. And again, if you're comparing and contrasting the real world more often with this, because you're spending like 2 hours a day in this, and then you're spending majority of your time out and looking at the real world, you're going to be able to more easily differentiate. Okay, this is probably fake, right? Like you said, some of the stuff you're saying, like and seeing, like, okay, this scene is not a scene that happens in the daily life, so this is probably fake. Oh, this person, I know this person, or people like this person, they don't act like this normally. This is probably fake. Oh, I know this amount of of money or this amount of whatever is probably unattainable for a person of this age, with hard work or whatever. So I know this is probably fake, whatever. So things like that will help you get a better grip on reality, so that you're not comparing yourself with these people that have these unattainable lifestyles, basically. So that you're just feeling better about yourself and putting yourself in a better situation. You're spending your time doing hopefully more useful things and more enjoyable things, more than anything else, and just doing something that makes yourself feel better than just staring at the screen. But
yeah. I agree with that completely. I mean, slow down the singularity, please.
Right.
Yes, and we've talked about this plenty of times, but yeah, social media is doing nothing more than turning everyone into the same person that is super reactive, and that's not normal, or at least it wasn't normal. And yeah, we yeah, yes, reduce the amount of time should at least slow it a bit.
Yeah, right.
I agree.
I am a Reddit addict. And
Hello, Alonso.
yeah. It's taking my home, my car, my wife. I get what you're coming from, like where social media people are on it way too much. They kind of devote their lives to this fake reality. They get false facts, misinformation. They start believing things that there's already facts out there disproving what they're thinking. There's there's a lot of bad things that come from social media. People getting into an echo chamber where they just talk amongst themselves and exacerbate their own wrong thinkings. Like um, 4chan is a example where the worst people come together and they just make bad things happen.
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from. Limit it to 2 hours a day. Probably not going to help because you can get a lot done in 2 hours.
I know.
I can scroll for miles on Reddit in 2 hours.
I know.
Doom scrolling, looking at everything under the sun, but it's a start.
Right. Yeah. Like 2 hours was reasonable enough. I'm like, okay, you can't just take it all away from people. It's just gonna make them hate you.
That's gonna be part of the nap time thing, right? It's like
Right.
they cut off the internet. The government cuts off the internet for an hour. And
That'd be crazy, man.
like, all right, touch some grass.
Anarchy.
Yeah.
Anarchy, dude.
What is this?
Golly, imagine the people in Los Angeles. We love you guys in Los Angeles if you're watching. But yeah. I mean, this topic was a little something different, I think. This was a little bit of everything, man. But I think we still have room for a little extra.
All right, the magic word was said. It is time for extra time. And we start off in the NFL with a bit of concerning news. Former NFL quarterback and future Hall of Famer Drew Brees revealed that he can no longer throw with his right arm. It's crazy because he retired in 2021 and now sits at second all time in career passing yards and passing touchdowns. He apparently cannot throw because of a long ago injury coming to reap what is his own. In 2005, Brees suffered a major dislocated shoulder while a member of the then San Diego Chargers. He received surgery to repair a complete 360-degree tear of his labrum, as well as a partial tear in the rotator cuff. The injury scared off teams looking to sign him in free agency that year, save for the New Orleans Saints, where he went to have an amazing career. But in his words, the shoulder injury put him on the fast track to a degenerative shoulder and all kind of arthritic changes. So sad news that he can't throw with his golden arm anymore, but will always have his legacy, his family, and his post-career opportunities he has dabbled in. So we're hoping the best for you, Drew Brees. You're a good quarterback, although you terrorized the Carolina Panthers. But hoping for the best for him. Yeah. Going on to men's NCAA basketball, and some more concerning news. There was a men's college basketball player for the University of California, Berkeley. He was recently the target of hateful and bigoted speech from a fan at a recent game against the University of Texas El Paso. The player named Fardaws Amik was called a terrorist and received other targeted harassment of that nature from a fan. Amik eventually had enough and he went up into the stands to confront the heckler after the game. Going up into the stands to confront someone is not a good thing for the athlete, especially if you're old enough to remember the malice at the palace. But in Amik's case, I totally get it. He's of Afghan descent, but he was born and raised in Canada. I, for one, do not stand for hateful speech or conduct based on someone's race, ethnicity, identity, or anything else. I want to give an attaboy to Amik for not escalating the situation any further than he did. and for balling out in the game because he recorded a 23-point double-double.
Mhm.
So to that heckler,
Going in.
fuck you. I hope you run out of gas on the side of the road and puncture a tire at the same time. Take this to Hard America. If you're a bigoted hater, you're lame. Now,
Right.
finally,
I
in
agree with
NBA
Strong
news.
words.
In a weird scene from a game between the Los Angeles Clippers and the San Antonio Spurs this past week, the head coach for the Spurs, Greg Popovich, actually went to the announcement table during the middle of the game, and this was when players were on the court for some free throws. But he went to the announcement table, grabbed the mic, and addressed the crowd to stop booing a rival player. I'm sure that there are many, many, many reasons why this was absurd on the part of a future Hall of Fame coach. But to me, to go after your own fans and try to help a rival player is crazy to me. But to set up the scene, former Spurs player Kawhi Leonard was at the free throw line, and the crowd starts booing him because he left the team on not so good terms. Prior to the free throws, he was booed every time he touched the ball. And this has been a normal occurrence anytime he has come back to play against San Antonio. That's pretty much a normal occurrence when any player who leaves a team comes back to play their whole team. But that's when Popovich took the mic and was possessed by demons to address the crowd. It didn't work as the boos grew louder and the crowd basically booed the Clippers every time anyone on their team touched the ball. And to add insult to injury, the Spurs lost. Now, Popovich's reasoning for addressing the crowd during the middle of a game was that he didn't want the boos to motivate Leonard, or as he called it, poking the bear.
Yeah, that's true.
I find flaws in that logic because one, Kawhi Leonard is a robot incapable of genuine human emotion, and two, you should only worry about your own players in pretty much all cases, save for some gruesome injury suffered by an opponent.
Yeah.
The fans didn't like it. I didn't like it. The basketball gods probably didn't like it. And when asked after the game, Kawhi Leonard said he didn't even notice the announcement because he was focused on his free throws. But I digress.
Sounds like Kawhi Leonard.
How far would you guys go to protect your enemy? I'm a desensitized person, so I could care less about the problems anyone else is going through. But what do you all think?
Every time.
What a question today.
Protect my enemy. What would I?
You got enemies?
I surely hope not. Yeah, those cheaters, they hate you
coming
now. For me now, huh?
They hate you now.
10 days. I'll show you 10 days.
All right.
And yeah, I don't know. Like, I am you know, I am like of I don't hold grudges much, you know, like, so if anybody's done me any like wrong, I don't try to treat them any differently, right? But I think when it comes to, you know, sports, I mean, it's a different thing. It's a different game, right? So like the fans are part of it, and there's you know, that's just entertainment. That's just, you know, I think he's dealt with that probably many more times than just one situation. So I think that he, you know, that's probably not anything worth mentioning, really. But when it comes to people that have done me wrong, and I'm trying to, like, yeah, I told you a story how, like, my brother and I, we didn't really get along when we were young. Mm-hmm. Like, he was pretty much a bully, and I was much smaller than him, so I couldn't really do much about it. And there were times where I was like, okay, well, I hate this guy, you know, but then we got older, and they just, you know, I don't know what it was, but it just went away. I think there was one time, like, he did, like, show me that what he was trying to do, right? Like, he was like, you know, I'm trying to make you not a bitch, you know, by poking you so much. Yeah. But I also think that he, you know, I wouldn't have gone about it that way, right? But I don't hold any hostility towards him. So, not saying my brother is my enemy, but the closest thing I can have to an example is like, is that, and I don't hold it, and I wish him the best always, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, sports. I mean, Popovich has always been a weird guy. I mean, I don't know. He's getting older as well, so I mean, I mean, I'm sure he cares less about what anyone else. He already didn't really care about what anyone thought anyway. So now he probably cares even less. I'm sure. I don't know if they were losing at that time or what. I mean, or if Kawhi was having a good game, and that maybe have motivated him. But okay, let's not give him more reason to keep ball on us, maybe. But I mean, he's gonna ball you regardless. Like I said, I think Kawhi's gonna do his job the same regardless of what happens. I mean, I don't think he cares. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's also just. I think maybe it was just annoying for him too. Like you're booing so loud that I can't hear myself think. You know, I'm trying to make plays. I'm trying to get these teams to not suck. Trying to keep winning Banyama. And I can't even, hear myself think because you're booing so loud. So I don't know if that's part of it. But anyway, I think it's kind of pointless to do that. I don't know. I don't say I necessarily don't like it, but like I think it's kind of pointless because again, you're a professional. You're expected getting booed. You getting booed is almost an honor because it means you're important enough to even have cared about in the first place. And obviously, Kawhi Leonard is one of the best players to be playing currently, especially when he's healthy. So, I mean, yeah, and I highly doubt. I think if there's a player in the league that does not care if he's getting booed, I think it is Kawhi Leonard. So, that's the last person I'd be worried about. So, again, yeah, probably never a pointless thing to do. But for me personally, I mean, yeah, I don't really try to hold grudges. I mean, I've had people that I feel like did me wrong and then asked me for favors, and I'm like, now will I go super far in my way for them? Absolutely not. Right. But will I do, show them kindness? Yes, I will show them kindness. I'm not going to go out of my way to be mean or go out of my way to be rude or slam the door in their face if they're behind me or something like that. But it's like I will say if anyone decides to do me wrong, you've definitely lost the chance of me ever going like far out of my way to help you. That chance is never going to happen again. But that's probably the furthest it'll go. I'm never going to go out of my way to be specifically vindictive and doing the same thing that they do because I feel like, usually two wrongs don't make it right. But I mean, it honestly just like once you let it get to the point where you're changing your behavior, you're letting them have too much control over you. And I don't like letting other people that, especially people I don't care about, have much control over me and my actions and feelings. So I'm like, okay, you'd be crazy over there. I'll dissociate myself from that as much as possible. And if you want to do whatever you're doing, you do that, and I'm going to ignore it as best I can when it happens, and keep doing that for as long as I have to until I work somewhere else or I can move to somewhere else or whatever. So yeah, I just try not to take too much heed to it. But yeah, again, Greg Popovich, just focus on coaching your team. I mean, you guys are getting paid multi-million dollars contract, especially Kawhi Leonard, hundreds of millions. He will be okay to take a few boos. He's a grown man. I think he'll be fine. But one thing I hope doesn't get booed is the episode. Please don't boo this episode. We tried our best.
That says we tried our best. Couldn't do any better.
No, I think it was a really good episode though. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, touched a little bit of everything in this. I don't know. This is the most. We had all parts of the spectrum, and we've had a presidential bid start and maybe end in the same hour. So, what else do you really want in a podcast? That's the question. But if you have something else you want, then tell us. Comment. Do all those sorts of things. Tell us something. I don't care what it is. But don't boo. But we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for procrastinating with us. We out.